Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. I entitled this video, "This is Why Africans Should Focus on Africa's Business." And what I mean by that is, instead of being in the United States meddling into Black Americans' business and trying to determine whether or not we have culture, what our history is, who we are, what we should call ourselves, they need to be focused on what's going on in Africa because that's their business. We're not their business. They're not responsible for solving any problems that we have, whether we have culture, whether we have manners, whether we are baby mamas, whether we are not educated. None of that is any of their business. But now what's going on in Africa is really their business. Now, on the map on the screen, I want you to look at the country just above the equator in black, Cameroon. Cameroon is in serious trouble right now. They have a 92-year-old president that they can't get rid of. This is a picture of him on the screen. And I don't know, it looks like he's been bleaching, maybe he's had plastic surgery, but this is what he looks like. He's 92 years old. Last year or a year before last, they said he was dead. He had died, and the people were rejoicing that they were finally rid of him. But he raised up like the phoenix and said he wasn't dead, he was alive. And indeed, he was alive. And he has won the 8th, I think, consecutive election in Cameroon. Now, this is who declared him the winner right here, this 94-year-old. Now, clearly, these two old fossils have a lock on the power in that country, and the young people can't catch a break because whatever deal or deals they have made with Western countries, they are still keeping them in power. These Western countries are keeping these puppet governments in power, and those countries cannot progress and become, because look at this. The natural and mineral resources of this country are insane. Let's look at them. Cameroon's forests, part of the Congo Basin, are rich in biodiversity and provide valuable hardwoods for export. Timber is a major economic sector, though concerns about deforestation and illegal logging persist. Other resources, water. Abundant rivers and rainfall support agriculture, hydropower, and biodiversity. Biodiversity. Cameroon is known as Africa in miniature due to its ecological diversity, which includes rainforests, savannas, and coastal ecosystems. And that's just the beginning. Cameroon is rich in mineral resources, bauxite and kyanite, cobalt, iron ore, gold, uranium, nickel, lignite. This country is rich in mineral resources that I can't even pronounce, that I haven't heard of before, but they are important to the growth and development of this planet. And somebody is receiving big money to be leasing that land so these big companies can go in and dig for those resources. Somebody's making money off of it, but it's not the people of Cameroon. It's these old men that's been in power since 1960 something, and they can't get rid of them. Now, that's my read on it based on the research I've done. Now, I will acknowledge that I have not done thousands and thousands and thousands of hours on research, but this is surface stuff I'm talking about, and that's bad enough. But when you do a deep dive into it, it's going to be even more serious. Now, the reason I'm talking about Cameroon is because there is serious unrest in Cameroon right now, because the president basically reelected himself for the 8th time, and the people are upset about it. He had a contender that ran against him in the last presidential election. I think it was on October 12th, but he won. He always wins. And that's what they mean when they talk about corruption and fraud in Africa. And that is why I'm saying they need to stop meddling into the business of Black Americans and go home and fight for their continent. because they have something to fight for. They coming over here trying to they're coming over here trying to leech off of what we're doing here in the United States when they've got way more than what we have in the ground over there. They won't go to school. They talk about going to school. They won't go to school to learn how to do anything that will help them develop their continent. They just want to run over here and leech off of Black Americans and brag about having degrees and things like that. They actually have something to fight for. And as far as Black Americans going over there, I wouldn't fool with them. I mean, I think it's for white people or Indians or Asians and Chinese and Russians, anybody like that going over there, it's a good deal for them because they'll work with those people. They're not going to work with Black people. I don't believe they will work with other Africans. Africans won't work together, and I don't believe they will work with anybody that is of African descent. I would not waste my time going over there fooling with those people. But now you see they setting stuff on fire. They're rioting in the streets, the young people. And these folks over here who claim they have so many degrees need to be over there helping them. They need to be over there advising them and helping them. I'm not saying they should tear up the country. That's not what I'm saying. But there's always a way, something you can do. You can always challenge a thing. See, they won't even work with the white people to help build up those countries so everybody gets to benefit from the resources. That's what they do in the Arab countries. That's what they do in the Asian countries. They've had colonizers too. They've had people overpowering them too, invaders. But they work with the people to make the country better for their people. But the African people, it seems like, and I'm on the outside looking in, but it seems like they're just so selfish. It's just every man for himself. And they don't even care about the others. And so what they will do is take what they can from their country and then run to the west. Run to the west of the prime meridian. Run to England, run to France, run to Canada. And they're all trying to get to the United States so they can leech off of somebody else instead of fighting for their own continent and their own resources and their self-respect. But I'll just end with this. Instead of them running over here, meddling into our business, worrying about what we call ourselves, whether or not we have culture, whether or not we have whether or not we have baby mamas, whether or not we're on welfare, they need to be worried about their own continent. They need to worry about their country and their village in that country. They don't need to be worried about Black Americans at all because we are not their concern. Okay, y'all, I'm going to end with this. Thank you for listening. Have a good evening.